So, as always, it is Thursday at 4 p.m. We do our buyer series. Today, what I wanted to do is discuss handling common buyer objections. So, let's get this going. So, I'll be your host. My name is Lugashi with the Zamir Group, Keller Williamstown Life. I'm a buyer's agent for the Zamir Group, and we are the top team in the entire MJMLS last 5 years. And what that means is, well, I talk to a lot of buyers. I have experiences with a lot of buyers. I have a lot of conversations with a lot of buyers. So let's start off with a quote. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail, John Wooden. So it was some good advice. So what does that mean? So as real estate agents, we can prepare for the opportunities, which will always help increase our conversion, help increase the likelihood we take advantage of those opportunities and convert it into business, or we can wait for the opportunities to just present themselves and have an increased likelihood for them to be missed opportunities. So it's up to us. And of course, one of the greatest strengths that we can have as real estate agents is asking questions and, of course, being prepared. So let's get this thing started. Handling common buyer objections. What are some good ways to handle some old-fashioned, everyday objections? Well, let's go over that. So let's talk about the one on the top left of your slideshow, which you can see here. It is pre-qualifying. How does pre-qualifying help us improve our conversion? How does it help us handle objections? Well, if we know answers to some simple questions, it will definitely help us improve our conversion when dealing with objections. Now, what do I mean when we say pre-qualify? What does it look like? Well, it's some basic questions. Actually, if there's one script that I would encourage all agents to internalize, memorize, utilize on an everyday basis, on an every conversation basis, regardless of where the buyer is coming from, it definitely would be your pre-qualification script. So by internalizing just a simple script, you can use it across all platforms. It will benefit us. It will help us improve our conversion. So what kind of questions are we asking in your most basic, foundational, fundamental pre-qualification script? Well, it's where else are you looking? And is this the price range that you're looking for? And is do you own or do you rent? And if you rent, when is your lease expiring? It expires in December. Well, if you found the right home, the perfect home, can you terminate today? Oh, do you own? Do you need to sell in order to buy? How long have you been looking? Are you working with another agent? Have you spoken to a mortgage broker? Yada, yada, yada. So by internalizing the pre-qualification script and having the ability to ask these questions and obtain answers, it will help us not come across surprises. Unless you like surprises, then by all means, don't ask the questions. Yet, if we're looking to avoid surprises, looking to avoid any future issues, objections, we should be asking questions in the form of pre-qualifying our consumers, prospects, clients, buyers, and everybody else. So that's one way to help us out in handling objections. Buyer consultation, we spoke about it last week. Was it last week? Or the week? I think it was last week. So we discussed buyer consultation last week. And, of course, how is it a tool that will help us handle objections, common buyer objections? Well, via the use of a buyer consultation, we can actually handle up to 90% or as many objections as we can. It's one of the benefits of a buyer consultation where we're discussing the buying process. We're finding out what they're looking for. We're speaking to them about market conditions, discussing about how to strengthen offers and everything in between. And they are ready. They are prepared. We are getting them ready for what's to come. We're setting the expectations. They are more prepared, more comfortable, more confident. Now you don't get the objections, right? Now you don't get the surprises. So when they are ready, when they know what to expect, then there's less issues. Now, if they don't know what to expect, They don't know what's coming next. They're going to formulate their own expectations. They're going to create their own perspective, decisions, choices on how things should be, how they should look. And yes, that's where objections happen. That's where surprises happen. So let's avoid any surprises, and let's conduct what's commonly known as a buyer presentation, consultation, discussion, whatever you want to call it. Presentation, it's the same thing. It will benefit us. It will benefit them. It will be of value to us. It will be of value to them. It will help us handle any future objections by handling those objections during the consultation. So you want to be better than 90% of the agents? Just do a buyer consultation. It'll already make you better automatically. Motivation is a big deal. I find that many agents, one of the first questions to ask their sellers is, well, why are you selling? And many times what I found is that the buyer's agents don't necessarily do that. Buyer's agents tend to forget to ask the question, well, why you buy? And obviously there's 100 different reasons why somebody would purchase real estate, yet it is our job to discover what their motivation is. The last thing we want, especially in today's market conditions, is to run around with a buyer who's not very motivated. Somebody who just wants to look around, shop around, see some homes. It doesn't benefit us as agents if we do not ask some simple questions. So we want to discover what their motivation is, and we want to make sure that they are ready, willing, and able buyers. And in today's market, there's an extra one I like to add in there. It is willing to do whatever it takes, right? What is their motivation? So we have to discover that as early on as we can, so that we do not waste our time, energy, efforts, and money on driving them around, opening doors for no good reason. So there are many ways to ask the question, but ultimately, if you just ask the question, you'll get some answers. Just a simple way to communicate that to you. So we definitely want to improve our skills. We want to improve our preparation, and that will help us with handling any future objections that come our way from any potential buyers. Obviously, the more we improve our skill, the more likely they will be more prepared. Now, when I say preparation, obviously it's the ability to prepare them for what happens next is really important when we're talking about the buyer's agent and buyer relationship. Yet the preparation also needs to take part on our end as agents. What makes me say that? Well, simple question. Can we as buyer's agents communicate the buying process if we ourselves don't know the buying process? The answer is no. And can we communicate what the market conditions are to our clients if we ourselves don't know what the market conditions are like? And the answer is no. And can we convey to our clients how to strengthen an offer in multiple offer situations if we ourselves don't know how to strengthen offers in multiple offer situations? So there is a level of preparation that needs to take place on our end, some footwork that needs to take part on our end, some preparation that needs to take part on our end, in order to help our clients promote their best interest, benefit them, and provide them as much value as possible. So let's prepare. Let's do some footwork while you are not on appointments, on showings, inspections, final walkthroughs, etc., and you have some time in between. We are preparing. We are getting ready. We are improving our skill, and we are getting better. Always be working to get better, be learning-based, growth-based, and have the goal of being better tomorrow than you are today. That will always be helpful to you if you look at every single day as an opportunity to grow. All right, let's keep going. So let's talk about some of the common objections we get from buyers, and these are just some common ones. We're just going to review them today. And one of the ones is actually about the offer. And a simple way to, I guess, give you guys an example of what this looks like. Well, it's a question. I'll do it via a question. When is the first time that a buyer is presented with what's known as an offer, or with the documents known as a sales contract? When is the first time you would guesstimate that the first time they are presented with that particular document? The majority of buyers are presented with that document known as an offer for the first time when they're ready to submit an offer, right? Oh, you like this house enough to submit an offer on it? Great. Please sign this legal document you've never seen before in your life. And what is the objection that we get? Let me look over it. Let me read it word for word. Let me get back to you in a few days. Let me have my attorney look over it. So there's a lot of different responses, and that by all means is an objection, and we do bear some responsibility in that as agents. And the reason I say that is, what can we do differently so that we don't come across that particular objection? What can we do? Well, it's a simple answer. We could prepare them in advance, whether it be via the buyer consultation or a separate conversation or whatever that looks like. If we're sending them a copy of what it looks like, we're handing them a copy of what it looks like, and we review it with them, we're handling the objection up front. So I'll give you a tip. You can use it, you cannot use it, it's up to you. Prior to meeting with somebody face-to-face, I'm sending them an intro email. Let's just say I scheduled an appointment, click, I hung up the phone, I'm going to my email, I'm composing an email, I'm sending, what am I doing? I'm composing in that email, I call it an intro email, and just a little bit about ourselves, a link to our reviews, so on and so forth. They know a little bit more about me, and at the very bottom I'm attaching a copy of what an offer looks like so they can review it. I'm attaching a copy of a home buyer's guide which discusses the home buying process so they can review and take a look at. And I'm going click, click, and I just handled an objection. Now, I'm also going to review that with them during my buyer consultation. I'm also going to answer any questions they might have. Yet, what I do know is that when I go through this system, go through this process, when time comes to submit an offer, it's sign, sign, click, click. There is no objection. So yes, we do have some responsibility as agents to prepare our clients so that later on we don't have surprises, we don't have these objections that come up, right? So that is a very common one. Another common one is inspections. Have you ever had a buyer conduct a home inspection, receive the home inspection report, and then tell their attorney to request that seller address every single item on that inspection report? Now, if I had to guess, forecast, I would say that there's an increased likelihood that deal won't go through. I'm not saying it won't go through. I'm saying there's an increased likelihood that now things are going sideways, and they're going sideways very, very swiftly if you send the entire inspection report over. Now, again, as agents, where's our responsibility? Where's our DNA in those situations, in those objections that pop up? Right? So what can we do? Well, during our conversations with our buyers, during our buyer consultations, we are communicating what the buying process is like. We are telling them what the inspection period looks like, what happens once the inspection report is received. You and me, Mr. Buyer, or Mrs. Buyer, we are going to review this report together. We're going to create a short list of items that are of concern to you, and we're going to create that, communicate that short list of, you can put a number to it, to the attorney. The seller will respond by saying, yes, I'll fix it, and I won't fix it, I'll give you a credit, or just a plain out note of each of your items. The outcome we're looking for is to get you into this home. This is a negotiation by all means. We'll do the best we can, and we will move forward towards that outcome, accomplishment, achievement, which is to get you into this home that you're going to enjoy for many years to come, and we'll move forward. Sound good? Great. Any questions? Now they know what happens. Now we're also going to remind them, right? After once we schedule the inspection, we're going to conduct the inspection, you're going to get a report, we're going to review it. After you do the inspection, you're going to receive the report, and we're going to review it. And then once we receive the report, you actually schedule a time to review it with them, because they will have questions, and they will. And what happens is, when we do not as agents address this particular objection up front, or we don't set the expectation of what needs to happen next, they will create their own. They will create their own expectation of what happens next. And that's where surprises happen. So if you don't like surprises, prepare them. Let them know what happens next, or let them know what happens throughout the process, and understand that by going over it once, like during the buyer consultation, you're presenting the buying process as a whole very, very quickly. They're not going to remember everything. That's why every conversation we have with our clients, we always need to end the conversation with, Great. This is what happens next, so that they know what happens, like everybody's on the same page and there are no surprises. Unless you like surprises. Then don't do anything I just mentioned. Then you'll have it your way. Now, I will tell you, if you want an increased likelihood to get to closing, prepare them for what happens next with the inspections, with the offers. Now, another common objection that we get from buyers, regardless of what the market is, yet it might be even more important in today's market, is attorneys. Now, why is an attorney? Why do I consider attorney selection is more accurate as a common objection? Because there are attorneys that are deal makers and deal breakers, and there are attorneys that are fault finders and some solution finders, and there's attorneys that have, when we're talking about high level of ego, there are those, and there's some attorneys that know what's best for their client without even consulting with their clients, and there are attorneys that don't want to CC you on the emails, and there's attorneys that know best. And what we're looking for is also, attorney selection is really, really important when you're in multiple offer situations for various reasons. One is because you don't want to obtain and then lose it. And you can lose it in several different ways. If the attorney is not responsive, or the attorney has not been selected, and other clients are very detail-oriented type clients, and they want to interview face-to-face, in-person attorneys, and the listing agent and the seller are getting very frustrated with the delayed selection, and so they're just going to go to the backup offer, the next best offer, and you've now lost it. So and let's just say the attorney didn't respond quickly during attorney review, and another offer that's a higher offer that comes in and kicks you out of attorney review. And there's a lot of different ways that this can go bad. There are ways to handle this particular objection. It's when we first sit down with our clients and we discuss the buying process, and we're talking to them about the attorney review period, and we ask them the question, do you know which attorney you're going to be working with to represent you in this real estate transaction? And they will say either yes or no. And when they say no, you said, would you like me to send you or forward you a list of highly recommended attorneys that will take very good care of you? They're all real estate attorneys. They all charge flat fees, and I trust that they will take very good care of you. Would that be helpful to you? And they'll say yes, and you'll send it over. And then if you don't know any attorneys, your market centers have a vendor list of the top attorneys that they recommend. It's a very thorough list. Please, make the recommendations up front so that they're not scrambling last minute, or they don't make a selection that may cause them to lose a home that they've already envisioned their items, their family living in. All right, we don't want that. We've worked so hard to obtain, and now it was lost over a very small selection. So let's handle those objections. Do it early on, and prepare them for what happens next. Don't make them scramble, and then while scrambling, select a wrong attorney or make a indecisions. So let's go next. That's it. That's all I left for you guys today. I trust that discussing handling common buyer objections increases your awareness level. These things do come up on a daily basis when dealing with buyers. There are, of course, other ones that we can discuss. There's nobody on this line, so I don't really know what kind of questions or objections you happen to come up with in your relationships, in your scenarios with your buyers. Yet I will share with you that you are very welcome to reach out to me with your scenarios, with your common objections that you come up with or you come across. You can call me, you can email me, you can text me. I'm always very responsive, and we can discuss it one-on-one, or I can bring it to light in any future sessions. So given that's all I really wanted to discuss today, and there's nobody to ask questions, I will thank you for watching, and I want to wish you all a great Thursday. We will be here next Thursday, 4 o'clock, same as always. We'll discuss a different topic. I look forward to seeing you then. For now, I want to wish you a great Thursday, a great day. Be well. Let's get back to work.